There are both new and old stories going around the internet about the Mountain Men cast. Some say that people have been killed, while others say that some have been jailed. So far, no one from the Mountain Men has been sent to jail, but there have been deaths. Read on to find out which Mountain cast members have died or are in trouble with the law. There are people who were said to have died but have not. First place goes to Preston Roberts. Preston Roberts died on July 24, 2017 at the age of 60 after having problems with his cancer. Preston died from problems caused by a liver tumor that could not be removed. His website was changed on the day he died to say that the cancer had stopped oxygen and blood flow to his body, and it had died within 3 weeks. His death was a big loss for Eustace and the other Mountain Men, and the show paid respect to him in later episodes. It was in honor of Preston that his friend Eustace kept working on projects like building a sawmill. There are many people who learned from Preston and were moved to live closer to the land. Eustace Conway, Preston's close friend, wrote on Facebook that he had died. Eustace wrote a sad message on social media in August, thanking Preston's fans and friends for raising a lot of money to help his family. Part of the note said, "Thank you to everyone who has shown support as I try to get through the loss of my best friend of 35 years. It was the best thing I've ever had, Preston's unwavering support and encouragement. His humble skills and kindness were unmatched. Friends and fans all over the world started a new scholarship in Preston's name after his sudden and untimely death. This award in Preston's honor will carry on his love of camp at Turtle Island Preserve." The Turtle Island Preserve, where Preston worked as an outdoor educator, wrote a piece in his honor that says, "Preston was as useful as he was creative. He would also find a way to build a bridge over any chasm that was both strong and beautiful. All over Turtle Island, his life and spirit can be felt in the buildings, the rituals, and the land itself, and the air in the misty mountains." A GoFundMe page was also made in Preston's name to help his family pay for funeral costs, medical bills, and a roof that is leaking. The page is still up and running, and it has raised more than $110,300.00. More than 2,500 fans, family, and friends of Preston have given money to help the family. Eustace Conway says that money from the GoFundMe page was used to fix Preston's roof in August. After he died, his wife shared a post on Facebook. "Always let Preston handle internet conversations, but I want to thank everyone who has called out to me since his sudden and unexpected death. We were all caught off guard by this event, and it's been hard to reply to each person's condolences. To everyone who has been kind, please know that we value and honor your kindness. Kathy and her sons." Preston James Roberts was born on July 17, 1957. He had a big idea and helped start Turtle Island Preserve. He went on many trips with Eustace Conway and was his best friend. For many years, he also co-starred on the hit History Channel show Mountain Men. Preston raised a lot of money for Turtle Island's summer camp grant program by auctioning off the knives he made and used on Mountain Men over the course of the show's 6 seasons. The year Preston Roberts met his wife Kathleen was 1975. The two fell in love quickly and got married. They went on to have 3 kids together. In 2015, they marked 40 years of being married. He wrote about his meeting with his wife and how much she meant to him in a blog post. A lot of people say, "Behind every good man is a good woman." But he wrote, "Beside every good man is a good woman, and she is." The two groups of people lived in Wilkes County with their families. Preston Robert went to Atlantic Christian College and Appalachian State University to get his degree in art teaching. The newspaper Patriot says that Preston taught art in Wilkes County schools for 25 years. Before he left in 2010, he was named Teacher of the Year twice. Until he died, he was on the board of directors at Turtle Island Preserve, a place he and Eustace made. This is number 2, Jason Hawk. Jason Hawk died on January 28, 2025, after a long and brave fight with cancer. He was 49 years old. Fans of the Mountain Men and many people who had followed his life outside of the show were sad to hear of his death. His supporters were shocked by his diagnosis, especially since he quietly told them after leaving the show that he had been having a major health problem. Jason's situation got worse over time, even after several rounds of aggressive treatments that were kept secret at first. The battle with cancer for Jason Hawk began in late 2020. He was given a number of tests and later found to have cancer. Jason's situation continued to be very difficult to deal with, even after aggressive chemotherapy treatments and surgery in November 2022. Aaron Hawk, my husband, was taken to Mercy Hospital in Fort Smith, Arkansas, by ambulance on February 7, 2024, because they were thirsty and dizzy. It had been weeks since he had eaten, and he had dropped about 20 pounds. Other people in the family got sick with a bad stomach bug, so we thought that was what was wrong with him. A CT scan was done on Jason because he was having stomach pain when he got to the hospital. The scan showed that his cancer may have come back because there was suspicious tissue on his lungs and belly. They took a sample of the lungs on May 7, 2024, and we should know by Monday what they found. The scar tissue and tumor mass had wrapped around his lower intestine and stopped it. Using surgery, they were able to get around the blockage. We hope that Jason can soon start eating again and get stronger. His wife said on social media that he will have a good chance of getting better if he can get stronger. It spread to his liver, lungs, lymph nodes, and stomach. Putting his strong and lasting spirit to the test, he decided to spend his last months in his home in the Arkansas Ozarks, where he loved being with his wife Mary, their children, and the peace and quiet of the land that had shaped him. On his death notice, Mary wrote a moving account of the man behind the TV image. Her words showed that he was a loving husband, a kind and present father, and a skilled worker whose hands were always shaping, building, and teaching. She wrote that he spent a lot of his life in the woods making blades, teaching primitive skills, and taking care of his family. Better than that, Jason lived with a plan. He preferred to be simple. He picked love. Jason Hawk was more than just a TV actor. A lot of people looked up to him because he represented strength, resilience, and a kind of self-reliance that was dying out. Each episode showed how tough, funny, and humble he was. His quiet, wise, and family-centered life, on the other hand, left the greatest mark. Jason Hawk, whose real name is Patrick Baldwin, was born in Fort Smith, Arkansas, in June 1975. He was the son of artist and horse trainer Andrea Baldwin and Jim Baldwin, who used to teach special forces in the Army and later became an artist and carpenter. His dad changed his last name to Hawk to honor the time he spent skydiving. Jason chose to keep the name Hawk when he became an adult. His parents were known for being artistic and good at telling stories, which Jason took on and worked on all his life. He was the best blacksmith at Jason Hawk's Outlaw Forge Works. In 4 years, from 2016 to 2021, Jason Hawk was in Mountain Men. On the show, Jason Hawk showed how to use basic skills and raise kids in a remote area with his family. Jason Hawk made important advances to primitive crafts, wilderness education, and living in the old-fashioned way. Jason helped make off-grid living and traditional arts more famous in modern times through his work on TV and at forging events. His shop, Outlaw Forge Works, still stands for quality, toughness, and heritage-based workmanship, and the blades he made are a tribute to his memory, the skills he taught, and the friends and family he helped grow. Mountain Men are sad about his death because he was a real person who lived the way he taught others to live. The blades he made, the lessons he taught, and the wild places he called home will always remember him. People will always remember Jason Hawk as a real mountain man who lived and died with bravery, grace, and a strong will. Third, this is Eustace Robinson Conway. Eustace Conway is still alive, but he got in trouble with the law and was arrested. Eustace Conway had to fight to keep ownership of his land because of a lien on it. In November 2012, Turtle Island had to close to the public because its old buildings didn't follow building rules. Around the middle of December of that year, Conway seemed to be making progress with the North Carolina Building Code Council, but right after this success seemed to be made with the Code Council. On December 13, 2012, Eustace Conway was arrested for trespassing on a neighbor's property in a dispute over the property line. This continued the legal challenges to Turtle Island. On a neighbor's land in the triplet town of Watauga County, he was given a second-degree trespassing warrant. Margaret A. Palms, who lives at 2473 Little Laurel Road and is his neighbor, told the Watauga County Sheriff's Office about the crime. The crimes happened on Sunday, December 9, according to records kept at the Watauga County Courthouse. The warrant was given on Monday, December 10. At 4:11 a.m. in Watauga County on Wednesday, Deputy S. Morrison served Conway with the warrant. He was then taken to the Watauga County Magistrates. According to those records, Eustace Conway broke the law and willfully entered Palms's land after being told not to go there or stay there. He put signs on our mailbox, fences, and gate so we couldn't get out. Palms told me Thursday morning that he then put up a big wooden wall that blocked our way out. He went crazy. Margaret Palms said there is only one way to leave her land, which is next to Conway's Turtle Island Preserve, a 26-year-old 1,000-acre primitive living site and teaching camp, and was closed to the public not long ago. Palms, a lawyer and real estate agent in Boone, said that Eustace Conway had argued about the property line. Her home address is 2473 Little Laurel Road. She has lived there for 18 years. They were friends until about 5 or 6 years ago. He sometimes comes in without permission, and we've asked him not to. Palms told us that he was bothering us. I only want him to stay away from our land. When asked about what happened, Eustace Conway wanted to say something, but his lawyer told him not to talk to the press about the assault charge. The Turtle Island Preserve is no longer open to the public because it broke health and building rules. This happened after the Watauga County Planning and Inspections Department was told about buildings being built on Turtle Island without permission. After some time, Director Joe Furman got a thorough map of the land. Besides, he didn't talk to or know the complainant's name, but he thought a man called and told them about the illegal projects. Margaret Palms said no when asked if she was the neighbor who reported. With a signed promise to show up in court on January 24, 2013, Eustace Conway was finally freed. On the paper he signed at the courts to get out of jail, it said, "Do not threaten or bother Margaret Palms." Because Eustace Conway was having trouble with the North Carolina Building Code Council, state leaders soon found out about it. The North Carolina General Assembly also stepped in and suggested that primitive structures not have to follow the rules in the building code. The state's House and Senate both voted in favor of H. 7774. On June 12, 2013, Governor Pat McCrory signed the bill into law. The Fox News special War on the Little Guy talked about this experience. John Stossel is the host. He came into the world on September 15, 1961. This guy is an American naturalist and was on the History Channel show Mountain Men. Conway left home when he was 17 years old to live in a teepee in the woods. It took him 103 days to ride his horse from the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Ocean and hike the whole Appalachian Trail. He says that this is the world record. Some sources, like the New York Times, the Los Angeles Times of the day, and the book Bud and Me, say that it took 62 days to ride across North America. Bud and Temple Abernathy, who were 11 and 7 years old at the time, rode their horses from New York City to San Francisco, a distance of 3,619 miles, 5,824 kilometers. Their trip began in August 1911. Eustace Conway lives on Turtle Island, a piece of land in North Carolina's Blue Ridge Mountains. He hosts people there and teaches them basic skills for staying alive in the wild. Besides that, he makes money by collecting firewood using old methods. Eustace Conway is a TV star, but he is also interested in nature and wants to make things. He saw Turtle Island as a small hole in the ground when he bought his first 107 acres of land there in 1987, untouched and wild, with roads and pavement all around it. People on nearby hills could look inside and see a clean, green example of how the world used to look. When Eustace Conway was 17, he moved out of his parents' suburban home and into the woods. Since then, he has been preaching the gospel of sustainable, primitive life. But those ideas have changed over the last 30 years. The famous person has also given up his famous buckskins for pants and t-shirts. When people go to Turtle Island, they might hear the buzz of a chainsaw or the call of an eagle. Interns learn that trash diving is a skill just like hunting or fishing. Reality TV star Eustace Conway is thought to make $130,000, 0 cents. Morgan Beasley is worth about $1 million, 0 cents. His salary is thought to be around $2,000, 0 cents, according to some reports. His main source of cash comes from the TV show Apra City, Alaska, which Morgan Beasley runs with Margaret Stern, is another place where he makes money. Tom Orr is number 4. There was a report going around online that Mountain Men's Tom Orr had died. Instead of what was said without permission, Tom Orr is still alive and well. There is proof if you don't believe that he is alive and well. Kindra Schneiderman say that he just spent his 81st birthday with Tom Orr and his family. The hero is still living a peaceful life with friends and family. His sister-in-law, Connie Orr, has also said things that prove the tale is real. Today is December 21, 2024, according to what Connie Orr said in public. That was Tom Orr leaving my house. I was going to give him popcorn balls that Jack and I made. It's something our family does every Christmas. Tom was on his way to check the traps he owns on the land across the street from our house. All is well with him. His snowmobile doesn't work. His trap line is being checked on foot. He did not die. Also, a new post from this year from the Facebook page of the Tom Moore Mountain Men fan group proves that Tom Moore is still alive. Tom Moore has lived in northwest Montana's remote Yaak Valley for almost 50 years, a long time away from the modern world. He and his wife, Nancy Orr, make a living by hunting animals, drying hides, and making one-of-a-kind primitive crafts out of things found in nature. It is said that Tom O was born in 1943 in Rockford, Illinois. A lot of details about his past are missing, but one thing is for sure. Tom Orr was deeply inspired by his father, Chike Orr. People in the U.S. praised his father. Wild West shows from the late 1800s. The way his father lived shows how well Tom Orr can fit into a rough life. From a young age, Tom Orr was interested in rough living and traditional skills because his family had ties to rural life. Tom Orr was also greatly influenced by the culture of the American West as a child, which shaped his interests and career choices. As a performer in Wild West shows, his father left a heritage, gave Tom Orr unique insights into the skills and way of life of historical frontiersmen. This made him value being self-sufficient and living in close connection with nature even more. Tom Orr is 6 feet tall and weighs 80 kilograms. When Tom Orr became interested in rodeo, he started his working life. He learned how to tame wild horses while working as a bronc rider for more than 20 years. During this time, he became stronger and learned more about how animals behave, which turned out to be very useful later on. From Michigan to Missouri, we went on a trip all over the Midwest. I trick-raced until I was 15. My dad and brother stopped, but I kept running the show. My dream job was to ride bulls ever since I was 3 years old. When I was about 10, the owner of the rodeo company where I worked, Jerry Partlow, let me ride a steer through the chutes. That's how I became a rodeo cowboy. When Tom Orr stopped competing in rodeos, he chose to live a simple life to get away from the busy world. He and his wife, Nancy Orr, moved to northwestern Montana's Yaak River Valley, which is far away. Tom Orr adopted a self-sufficient way of life here and became a master woodworker and tanner. He used traditional Native American techniques to make clothes out of buckskin and other things by hand. Tom Orr joined the reality TV show Mountain Men in the United States in 2012. After the first season, he was on the show for all 8 seasons. The character of his wife Nancy also shows up a lot. Tom Orr is one of 12 people who played important roles on the show. He is one of only 3 original cast members. Tom and Nancy still lived in the log house they built more than 40 years ago, even though it looked like the old couple wasn't going to leave ever. They already did. The legend fought the hardships of rough living, even when he was in his 80s. In season 11, Tom Orr had health problems. Because his heart wasn't pumping blood well, he had trouble breathing and fluid built up in his lungs. A source says that the legend's health problems may have made it harder for him to fully live the busy life shown on the show. The living legend did choose to leave Mountain Men, though. Fans were interested in what the legend was doing at the time of his choice. Tom Orr finally chose to hang up his boots after being an important part of the show since it began airing in 2012. Before he finally chose to go back to the city, he and his wife lived in the Yaak River Valley, which was far away. Unfortunately, Tom Orr had a hard time dealing with life in the remote area near the Idaho border as he got older. So he made the choice to end it and move to Florida with Nancy Orr. They talked about how their sudden move made them feel. After living in the woods for 35 years, they both agreed that life in their new home was very different. Based on Star net worth, Tom Orr's net worth is probably around $200,000 0 cents. The legend also makes around $15,000 0 cents per episode of Mountain Men. Several sites say that Rich Lewis's net worth is around $300,000 0 cents. This amount was allegedly taken from his pay from the producers of the show. 5. Kyle Bell. Kyle Bell is another cast member of the Mountain Men who is said to have died. Fans of the reality TV star still believe he is dead, even though there has been no official proof, since there are no confirmed public reports about what he is doing or where he is going right now. Kyle Bell is an American hunter, outdoorsman, reality TV star, and former Bronco rider, who is best known for his part on the History Channel's Mountain Men. Kyle Bell was born in New Mexico, USA, in October 1957. Growing up, Kyle Bell lived in a simpler time, when there wasn't as much technology around. The old ways of life were taught to him. He learned how to survive from a very young age, learning how to do things like hunt and make fire. He turned his trip into an exciting adventure when he started Bronco riding, showing off his cowboy spirit. Kyle Bell's rough authenticity and deep link to nature made him stand out on the hit History Channel reality show Mountain Men. As he went from the ring to the wild, he was tough and determined because he had been riding Broncos for a long time. These traits helped him handle the rough terrain of Samaritan Valley, New Mexico. Kyle was a perfect choice for the 3rd and 4th seasons of the show because he has spent a lifetime exploring high desert plains and remote wilderness. People became very interested in Kyle's survival skills and in his deep bond with his son Ben, who was 10 years old at the time, and joined him on the show as a friend and student, appearing in seasons 3 and 4. The Mountain Men were excited to see Kyle and Ben Bell's father-son bond, which was based on trust, tradition, and hands-on guidance. Kyle taught Ben how to build fires, use landmarks to find his way, track animals, and understand the morality of shooting in a way that doesn't harm the environment. Their interactions were never staged for the camera. Instead, they seemed real as Kyle quietly taught his son the rules and risks of living in the backcountry. Fans who value custom and family really connected with this true portrayal of passing down wilderness wisdom through generations. Kyle Bell kept living the life he showed on TV when he wasn't filming. Kyle was a licensed shooting guide and full-time outfitter. He led hunts in the wilderness on his huge 45,000-acre property in Samaritan Valley. Hunters who were looking for trophies and a deep understanding of the land hired him. Elk, mule deer, and black bears roamed freely in northern New Mexico, and the rules of nature were the most important thing. He led his guests through these harsh landscapes. Kyle lived a life that many people respected, but few could handle. He led multi-day hunts on horseback and taught backcountry survival. During a filmed meeting with a black bear, Kyle had one of the most memorable moments that made him famous. Kyle was quickly faced with a strong animal after having just killed a deer for food. Though he only had a one-shot gun, he scared the bear away, but he couldn't sleep that night. He stayed by the fire to keep an eye on the meat and his horses. People and nature are always at odds with each other, and Kyle's quiet courage made an effect on the show's viewers that will last. In another famous scene, Kyle went on a mule deer hunt by himself. After taking an exact shot at a buck, he spent hours chasing the hurt animal through thick oak brush until he found it just as night fell. That moment showed how patient, tough, and respectful Kyle was of the animal he killed. These scenes weren't just for fun. They were real-life examples of a man who lived by old rules in which skill, instinct, and respect were important for survival. Kyle and Ben stopped working on TV shows after their last episode of Mountain Men in 2016 and started teaching. In the same year, they started an online program called Survival Sense to help people stay alive in the wild. A short YouTube video called Where is Kyle Bell and Ben Bell presented the project. Its goal was to teach new generations useful outdoor skills while making the channel seem family-friendly and easy to use. Kyle and Ben wanted to teach people how to make fires, build shelters, find their way around, and do basic hunts that everyone used to know but are becoming less popular. Even though there was a lot of excitement at first, Survival Sense Net quietly shut down in 2025. The YouTube channel is still inactive, with only the original promotional video visible. Longtime friends are worried about Kyle's health and wonder if he has completely retired from public life because of his silence, just picked to live even farther away from the power grid. His disappearance from public view has only added to his mystery, leaving us to wonder what happened to the father and son who used to bring tough truth to our screens. Mountain Men, which aired on May 31, 2012, is a show on the History Channel that follows the lives of people who live off the land, away from the conveniences of modern life. With 13 seasons, the show has gained a loyal following around the world. People like it because it shows men and women who are seeking freedom and independence while facing harsh weather, unpredictable wildlife, and total isolation. From the snowy peaks of Montana to the swamps of North Carolina, each cast member has their own setting, set of tools, and way of thinking about how to stay alive. One thing ties them all together, though. They are sure that a simpler, wilder life is still valuable today. Even though Kyle Bell's time on the show was shorter than that of some other cast members, his impact lives on. Fans still think of him as the tough but kind mountain man who taught his son to be patient and protect nature. Some of the most watched episodes of the show from its early years are still his. A lot of people who like the outdoors are still looking for videos of his bear encounters and single hunts. Kyle Bell may have left the cameras behind, but his way of life, knowledge, and quiet strength are still felt in the wilderness community and in the hearts of people who still want to live a quiet life. What do you think of Mountain Men, an American TV show? Do you believe the show is really as good as everyone says it is? Type your ideas in the box below. Thanks for seeing it. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel so we can send you more cool videos. Take a look at the other movies on your screen before you leave.